I didn't realize I was already live. It was a weird situation. Anyways, we're here. We're on YouTube, and yeah, the stream has begun. So today's Monday, August 19th, 4:02 p.m. And yeah, anyone who's rewatching that in hindsight will see what happened. But here we go. Let's get started. All right, here we are. What's up, Uzi? Nice to see you. We're on Underdog, and it's time for another draft. Let me position this where I want it. There we go. Yeah. We're going to be hopping into a Best Ball Mania today. I'm only going to be doing one draft this afternoon. I got some golf plans in a little bit, so only one opportunity to draft with me. It's BBM5, $25 entry. About 24% left of the spots are open, and there's a chance this doesn't fill. I doubt it. I think it will fill in time, but we're doing it at the moment. This is my 9th entry into BBM5. I've done a lot more of the cheaper drafts, if I'm being honest with you. I want at least 15 by the end of the month, and we're getting close. So yeah, if you want to join me, I'm on a 6-second delay. Hit the button right now, and I will join in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 9 spots left. 9 more spots. So we have a little bit of time. If you do want to hop in, there's still a chance. Now 8 spots, 7 spots. It'll get going pretty soon, but like I mentioned, I'm only doing one draft today because I have some plans to play golf at 6 p.m. It's currently 4, and I also have some editing I want to do. Like, I'm a little busy this afternoon, so not enough time for 2 drafts, but should be all right. 2 spots left. I'm going to grab some coconut water, and we'll be right back. Told you, I am back. Draft is full, and we get pick 2, baby. Hell yeah, we get pick 2, and I already know, like, my favorite start. Oh, hell yeah. I'm stoked for pick 2. Love me some pick 2. Hell yeah. Good luck today. Let's do it. We got a full moon in Aquarius, my rising sign. If you don't know anything about astrology, it's worth looking at your full birth chart. I do recommend it. I won't get too deep into it, but maybe that's a sign. Maybe I've also lost some of you by mentioning it. But yeah, we are in good shape here. Pick 2. Let's fucking go. Would love CD Lamb. I'm hoping Pimp Diculous 1 goes with Christian McCaffrey. That's what I'm hoping for. Yes. Give me Mr. Lamb. I'm also Capricorn. Capricorns are goats. Lamb is the baby goat. Let's fucking go. Appreciate it, Darkside Dev. I understand. I have a little bit of fatigue as well, but given there aren't that many opportunities left to draft, I'm still happy to do it. I've been doing a lot more on the live stream for that reason, but yeah, I would like the season to start as well. I'm tired of preseason not really giving us what we really want to see, and you know, some of the news regarding players like Ayuk, Lamb, like, just get the contract sorted out. Like, we're tired of hearing about this shit. Like, oh no, you're not gonna get $30 million. You're only gonna get 28. Shut the fuck up. Just fucking sign it. Just play. Anyways, that'll get sorted out by the time we hit week 1. Anyways, that'll be done soon. But I take CeeDee Lamb. We go Jamar Chase at 3, Tyreek Hill pick 4, Justin Jefferson pick 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 6. Bijan at 7, Breece Hall at 8. Going pretty normal, with the exception of Chase over Tyreek Hill. Otherwise, pretty much the same. What we would expect. Typically. Anyways, Garrett Wilson at 9 over A.J. Brown. Interesting. Sure, pick 10 is happy with A.J. Brown. I'm like so excited to get pick 2. You have no idea. Anyways, I'm in a good mood today. Feeling good. Got some excitement. I also kind of like clamored to get this stream like set up last minute. Like I was slightly late to it, but normally I have like things ready to go like 5 minutes ahead of time. This time I was like at 4 p.m. I got everything like in order. It was like last minute for sure, but feels good. Anyways, Marvin Harrison 11, Puka at 12, followed by Debo, Drake London 14. We see Jahmyr Gibbs falling in this lobby. And remember, this has an interesting strategy to it because this tournament has been live since like May 1st. Like there have been a lot of teams drafted, and some players you're getting cheaper than other teams. Like a guy like Ayuk, for instance, you're getting a lot cheaper today. Same with Jahmyr Gibbs. Like very few teams in BestBall Mania probably have a Garrett Wilson Jahmyr Gibbs combo. There's been more of them lately, but compared to teams, in May, there's probably no AJ Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs teams, for instance. So that's something to keep in mind. Also a factor later on, like nobody's getting Hollywood Brown that late. Nobody's probably getting DeAndre Hopkins that late if it was not drafted in the last week or two. So some players you can get at a very good value drafting this late. Other players, it was a lot better to take them back in May when we were lower on them. But you can also draft a lot of bad players in May. Like imagine taking Jermaine Burton in the 12th round back in May, and now you're barely even taking him like round 16 and feeling good about it. There's benefits to drafting early, benefits to drafting late. You kind of pick your spots, and that's why it's kind of good to do it in general all the way throughout the off season. But I hope I don't get sniped here. I do not. Hell yeah. Oh wow. Super tempting to go with A Chain. I'm gonna gamble on it because running back got a little bit thin. I don't have an opportunity for Kyron Williams, and let's do it. Let's take him. I might regret this because there's a guy I really want at 26. If you've watched my streams, you know who I'm talking about. But I'm gonna take the chance that Pimpdiculous does not take him. He goes Chris Olave. Please leave him for me. Hell yeah. I'm betting on Ayuk this year. I'm just going to do it. I think he signs. I know there's risk involved. I don't care. I'm still holding strong that Ayuk is my wide receiver 9 if he stays in San Francisco. The upside is just worth it. Also, I could take Cooper Kupp. That's not a bad pick either, but compared to the rest of the field, there are very few teams hit in this. What? How many teams have been drafted here? So far, 513,000. I'm not going to be the only one with CeeDee Lamb and Ayuk, but there's a lot fewer teams with CeeDee Lamb, Devon Achane, and Brandon Ayuk. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to take him, and I feel like there's a ton of upside with this start. I was worried the team with McCaffrey would take Ayuk with that Niners pair, but they go Olave, they go DK Metcalf, and I think there's league-winning potential with Ayuk. As long as he signs, just fucking sign the contract, man. Just stay there. Everybody wants that to happen. Nobody wants to see him in Pittsburgh. The Steelers look like shit. Unless you're a Steeler fan that's just hoping that he saves you, nobody wants to see it. If you're a Niners fan, why would you want to see him leave? I know he's annoying at this point, but like, I am committed to Ayuk. He's moving up my exposure lately. I'm close to 20% Ayuk, and I'm just like, I'm going all in. I'm going all in on Ayuk. Let's hope it works out. But El Cubano, the real underdog. How many BBM teams have you drafted? This is my 9th. I have not done a shit ton of BestBall Mania drafts. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have drafted over 200 teams this offseason, but for the sake of my finances and my budget, I have only done 8 BBM 5s before this one. This is my 9th. And Uzi, loving the start. Lamb, Ayuk, A-Chain. There's a lot of upside here. That's for sure. If A-Chain can stay healthy, we are rolling. But El Cubano, I have 30. Good luck to you, man. Definitely have more cracks at it than I do. That's for sure. But first year for you going hard like this. I imagine I'll go harder on BestBall Mania next season, but this year is when I decided to do more of an investment in Underdog in the tournaments, and for the sake of like the entry fee, I've just tried to keep it a little bit under check for the sake of my wallet. That's just what it is. I'm keeping it real with you. I don't have like thousands of dollars to throw at Best Ball Mania. I not disposably. I just being honest. That's all. I would love to do more, but that's the situation. Thank you, man. Good luck to you. Okay. After Ayuk, we see Kelsey at 27. That's interesting. Cooper Kupp, 28. Devontae Smith to the team with Jefferson and Kyron. Mike Evans, pick 30. Evans has been falling lately. DJ Moore, 31. Stephon Diggs, 32. Sam Laporta, 33. Tank Dell, 34. Josh Allen, 35. Derrick Henry at 36. Michael Pittman at 37. Pacheco, 38. Jalen Hurts to the team with A.J. Brown at 39, followed by Zay Flowers. Travis Etienne, the triple RB start for Team 8. We'll see how that turns out. T. Higgins at 42, and now Mark Andrews at 43. So I'm going to be less tempted to take Lamar Jackson, knowing I cannot stack him with Mark Andrews. We'll see what I do at 47, but I think I know who I'm targeting. In all honesty, I think this team is going to go Mahomes to pair with Kelsey. Pretty sure that's what we see here. Yep. And that means I will take Josh Jacobs. Hell yeah. 2 top 10 running backs. I'm more confident in both of them. I will be updating my running back rankings in the next 24 hours on YouTube. I'm editing it at the moment, already recorded. And Jacobs is my RB10. Moving him up 3 spots overall from a month and a half ago into the new tier. And I really trust Jacobs and his floor. And I could gamble that he comes back around at 50, but this team has 2 picks. Not going to take that shot. And wow, George Pickens is there. Really tempted to go with Pickens here. I kind of want the elite tight end in all honesty. But again, for the sake of uniqueness, I'm betting Ayuk stays in San Francisco, which means Pickens is a lock in Pittsburgh. Let's do it. Let's do it. The cheapest price in the tournament on Pickens. I don't think you could get him as late as pick 50. Obviously, there's been a few teams lately where he's fallen, but round 5 Pickens, I usually hate receiver in round 5, but I'm willing to take it here. And as much as I would like a really good tight end, I am willing to gamble here. And yeah, there's less teams with Pickens in round 5 in Best Ball Mania than the average. You know what I'm saying? I'm being more unique. I'm just a little nervous. That's all. Dev loving the Jacobs pick. Think he's better than Etienne. I agree. I've bumped him up above Etienne in my ranks. Etienne, I don't know if he's going to see a massive reduction. I don't think Bigsby's that big of a concern. I just think the Packers offense is better. I'm not like down on Etienne. I'm just more confident in Jacobs, especially with the injury to Marshawn Lloyd. That's the reason. I'm just higher on Jacobs. I'm not lower on Etienne. I'm just higher on Jacobs. And yeah, round 5 Pickens is pretty fucking nice. There was a time when I was taking Pickens in the late 3rd round. I was that confident in him at a certain time before the Ayuk rumors were really floating around. But yeah, obviously if Ayuk does get traded to Pittsburgh, I'm fucked with this team. But you know, the odds of advancing are already slim. Like, we're shooting for the highest upside possible. And Pickens will be exceeding 1,000 receiving yards for the second year in a row. That's for sure. He's also great in this format. He's not a great like weekly floor play. He's much more of a boom bust option, and he can score from anywhere. He can also put up like 30 or fewer yards in any game, but he can also put up like 200 yards in any game. So I think the spike week viability of Pickens is why I took him here, and I would have otherwise pivoted to either McBride or Kincaid. I do have Kincaid ranked higher, but I'm willing to reach a little bit on a different tight end, and especially with CeeDee Lamb on my roster, I might be grabbing Jake Ferguson at 74. Would have loved Kittle to fall. He does not. Kittle goes 66. But y'all know me, I do have Ferguson in the same tier as Kyle Pitts. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to be going running back here. I'm really hoping Montgomery flies off the board, so I'm not even like tempted to take him. But I could consider James Conner here. I'm a little higher on James Conner. I don't think I need running back, and Conner goes 69 above Montgomery. Okay. That team, we'll see what happens here. I think Montgomery's going right here. I think that'll happen. Kamara gets taken. I could definitely argue for Montgomery, but he's more of a floor play. I think Gibbs is going to be fine. I need receiver, so I'm going to take Brian Thomas here, get my guy. I'm very high on Brian Thomas. I have officially bumped up Brian Thomas above Christian Kirk. Brian Thomas is my boy. One of my ride or dies this season. It might be unique, but I think it's unnecessary. I think it's a little more critical that I grab the receiver depth while I still can. Especially with the plan of taking Jake Ferguson. I'd be shocked if Ferguson falls back to 95. Just don't think it's going to happen. And I have CeeDee Lamb, so I'm setting up a double stack. Dak Prescott is a quarterback I'm targeting for this squad. We got Lamb, we have Ferguson, and they're like by far and away such safe options in that Cowboys offense. Like, it's so obvious that that's where the targets are going this year in Dallas. So a little bit high, but I think it's worth it. I'm going to take him. And yeah, go Tigers. LSU does produce some beast receivers. They are usually the best. Yeah, I believe in Brian Thomas so much this season. Could have definitely taken Montgomery there. There's also a Week 17 bring back with Ayuk, assuming he's in San Francisco. But I have A-Chain, I have Jacobs, and I know I can get good running back values later on. I am willing to forego that pick. Not a bad pick at all. I'm not saying you shouldn't go Montgomery. I'm just saying on this team, I skip on Montgomery and take Ferguson to set up this stack that I'm planning with Dak Prescott. We're kind of locked into this Dak stack, who was a league-winning quarterback. Last season, he was actually better than Josh Allen on a per-game basis if you only look at his last 11 games after the bye. It's a smaller sample, was definitely over the course of the season, but Dak Prescott actually scored more than 23 fantasy points in his final 11 games after the bye in what is essentially the same offense. Other than Michael Gallup and Tony Pollard, nobody has left it, and I think you can get solid production from Rico Dowdle and Zeke to fill in for Pollard. If anything, that's just going to be more heavy passing usage for Dak. The offensive line is a little shakier without Tyron Smith, but I still think it's going to be fine. And their defense is not going to be as good this year with Mike Zimmer as the coordinator as it was last season with Dan Quinn. So I think you're getting very, very productive numbers from a very narrow offense in Dallas. And this double stack, while it may not be impossible to get, there are some teams where Ferguson does fall 95. I don't think it's going to happen here. I'm not willing to take that gamble right now. So let's go. El Cubano has a heavy bag on Dak with 17%. Not bad, man. Dak is definitely a safe bet at that 8-9 turn. I could get sniped. Pretty sure he's the highest ranked quarterback left on the board, and Team 4 does not have a QB left at the moment. And Jordan Love goes 90. We'll see what happens here. I don't think Team 3 will snipe me, but it's possible Team 4 gets in front of me on Dak. They go Bowers. Cool. Well, who to take here? Samir White goes. And this team with only one running back is probably thinking about it. I do think this is the type of setting where you do want Jonathan Brooks, but I'm going to let the fantasy gods decide for me, and I'm going to take my chances. I'm just going to lock up this Prescott stack. I don't want to get sniped on it. I don't want to gamble with that. And I'm comfortable with 3 players. I'm honestly comfortable with 4 guys here with my next pick. I'm just going to let the chips fall and let whatever happens, happens. Brooks is not a bad pick at all. And Njoku's there. And while I'm tempted to go with Jaden Daniels, very tempted to do that, I'm going to grab a receiver I am very high on in BestBall Mania, and I'm going to hit that position one more time because I don't want to get behind the 8 ball at receiver. I'm going to go Romeo Doubs of the Green Bay Packers. Some really good chemistry with Jordan Love. High upside, especially if Christian Watson gets hurt. I want a piece of this Packers offense. And these later round Packers, I think, are good investments. And Angus, I agree. Definitely the safer approach to lock up Dak. I could always pivot to Jaden Daniels, but it's not the end of the world. And I'm not going with Palmer here. I already have a Justin Herbert double stack with Palmer and Ladd in BestBall Mania. I don't have a ton of teams in BestBall Mania. And because of the current state of Herbert's foot, because of the plantar fascia, I'm willing to forego the Palmer pick. I still think Palmer's a great selection in the 9th round, but I think he's more of a floor play. I prefer him more in redraft. And once Justin Herbert got in that walking boot, I know he's out of it right now, but once that happened, I shifted Palmer down a tier, and I view him in the same group as Dobbs. Dobbs scored 8 touchdowns last season. There's a lot of upside, and I never have to pick when I'm starting Dobbs in BestBall. So that's why in this setting, I prefer Dobbs over Josh Palmer. If it was a redraft league, I would be taking Palmer above Dobbs. I think you can get a lot safer floor production from Palmer, and know every week when you start him that you're getting a decent flex play. With Dobbs, it's a lot more risky. In BestBall, that risk is taken out of the equation, and I think there is a world where Dobbs is actually like maybe even a top 40 wide receiver. There's a chance he's actually more valuable than Jaden Reed and Christian Watson. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm saying there's a chance. We will see what happens next season. But Angus asking, have I been taking any Tolbert later? Could be number 2 in Dallas. I have been mixing him in, especially as the price has been flying up the board lately. I have been a little bit worried about my investment in Brandon Cooks. Cooks is older and could always get hurt, but yeah, I have been mixing in Tolbert a little bit more. Other names I was considering that I was comfortable taking. Obviously, if Jonathan Brooks made it back, I would have taken Brooks. He's great in this setting because you want to maximize upside at the end of the tournament when all the money's at stake. And Njoku, I also considered for a really good tight end combo. I was also somewhat comfortable with Chase Brown or Jaden Daniels. And obviously, I just told you why I preferred Dobbs over Palmer, but Palmer would have been a decent consolation prize if I did not get Dobbs. The team with Jordan Love, I expect to go Dontavian Wicks here, but if he doesn't, and if Wicks falls to me at 119, I'll happily take Wicks. Grab the receivers while I still can. And yeah, in redraft, I agree. Packers wide receivers are going to be a nightmare in terms of weekly starting viability. But here, in best ball, I don't have to worry about that at all. So this is where I want to be investing in Packers receivers on underdog. I don't want to do it as much in a redraft format. There's a lot of upside, but it's going to be a big headache for sure. Wicks goes 115, so not going to pair Wicks up with Dobbs. That's fine. And receivers ugly as fuck here. I would have told you that Cooks was a great pick. I can obviously take him with Dak, but I already have Prescott, I already have Lamb and Ferguson. I'd rather bet that Ferguson is just so good. Damn it, I get sniped on Jerome Ford. I would have loved Jerome Ford. Gonna take Dowdle. This team with only 2 running backs at the turn should be probably grabbing 2, and I'm gonna take Dowdle. Would have taken Ford there if I did not get sniped. I love Jerome Ford. It's okay. Judy goes. Chubb gets taken. Boy, that team is really hedging some bets with Jonathan Brooks and Nick Chubb. This is the obvious pick. Am I going to do the obvious thing? Yeah, I'm just going to do it. Feels kind of risky, like hyper investing in Dallas. But for the sake of the stack, like, at least I'm getting all of the touchdown production in Dallas, who is projected to be a top 5 scoring offense. Last year, they were the highest scoring offense in the NFL. So, maybe not the most necessary pick there, but for the sake of the stack, it does line up. I can justify it. And taking a stab at like any receiver at this point is kind of like a dart throw. Like Shaheed, also super touchdown dependent. Cooks did score 8 touchdowns last year. So let's see what happens. I almost took Jalen Polk there. Mike Williams was in consideration, but there's a world where Mike Williams falls back around to me at 143. Kind of unlikely, but definitely possible. And I don't really want to reach on Mike if I'm not trying to draft Aaron Rodgers. And I just wasn't there. So that's why I did not take Mike Williams. But Angus has Judy, I feel, is underpriced. He has a big contract and the offense projects to be average. I understand the argument for Judy, but every time I've bet on Judy, it's always burned me. And I'm really not someone that wants to bet on Deshaun Watson either. I think Njoku's a bigger factor in this offense. Amari Cooper's still there. And I think they're kind of just like mitigating long-term when Amari Cooper inevitably leaves them after this season. I'm pretty sure Amari Cooper's in a contract year. So I think that's more of a long-term play. Year 1 in a new offense with a new quarterback that I don't trust is why I think Judy is actually overpriced. I almost never draft Jerry Judy. when Jerome Ford is also on the board, if I'm investing in Cleveland, I 100% of the time go Jerome Ford instead. The only time I've taken Judy is when he falls to me like here in the 12th round, and he goes at the 10-11 turn. So I'm only trying to get Judy at a big discount, not at or above ADP. That's my take on it. I'm not high on Jerry Judy. So far the roster is Dak Prescott, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Rico Dowdle. Wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens, Brian Thomas, Romeo Doubs, Brandon Cooks, tight end Jake Ferguson. We've got a quadruple stack with Dak Prescott. We've got 4 Cowboys to pair with Dak. And I might go double running back here, honestly. I've got 6 receivers. I don't think it's like necessary for me to take another receiver when I'm not in love with Jahan Dotson and Josh Downs. I'm going to take the swing on J.K. Dobbins. This team with only 3 running backs, I think, will grab one. So I'm going to swing for the fence with J.K. Dobbins and hope that Jalen Wright comes back around. I would be happy to pair Jalen Wright with Devon Achane, because there is some risk with Achane. And if Mostert goes down, then having those 2 is phenomenal. Wright is also the heaviest of the 3 running backs. There's a world where he actually takes over the goal line duties. I don't think it'll happen this year. Oh, wow, this team goes Herbert and Rodgers. Rodgers unstacked. Not the move I would have made. Cole Kmet in a timeshare with Gerald Everett, not my favorite pick here. And receiver doesn't speak to me at all. I'm going to go with Jalen Wright and have an insurance policy for this Achane selection. I could call it done at running back with these 5. 100%. I'll probably draft a 6th if I feel the need to, if there's a really good value. But having Devon Achane paired with Josh Jacobs, a really good flex play in Rico Dowdle, a league-winning potential with J.K. Dobbins, and obviously an insurance policy handcuff to Devon Achane, I could 100% call it done with these 5. So knowing that's in my back pocket, I can ignore running back the rest of the way, is valuable to me. And receiver doesn't feel like a good bet here. Jahan Dotson struggling to cement himself as the number 2 receiver. I think taking a shot on Luke McCaffrey or De'Ami Brown in the 17th, 18th round is possibly more valuable than Jahan Dotson here in round 13. I am not that excited about Jahan Dotson at the moment. Really not. So he's talented. I would draft him above those 2, but not my favorite click here when I only had 3 running backs for the sake of my roster. With 6 receivers, that gives me that luxury. That's what taking George Pickens in the 5th really allows me to do. Like if I had gone tight end there, I would have felt the urge to grab Jahan Dotson, and I'm glad I didn't have to. The receiver room is one I'm pretty confident in. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens, Brian Thomas, Romeo Doubs, Brandon Cooks. I don't think I need Dotson, Downs, or Thielen. Yeah, I'm feeling solid with this team. There's 100% a path for success here. I can see it working out. Someone wants to say hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Let's get back to the board. No, we don't need that. There we go. Okay. After Jalen Wright, we see Jahan Dotson, Julian McLaughlin, Tyler Algier, Baker Mayfield, Luke Musgrave, Joshua Downs, Ray Davis, Adam Thielen, Cole Kmet, Chuba Hubbard, pick 156. I'm personally shocked that Team 1 went Aaron Rodgers over Chuba Hubbard. They have Nick Chubb and Jonathan Brooks and only Christian McCaffrey aside from that. They need early season running back production, and taking Rodgers unstacked is very unwise. I think you need a stack to justify an Aaron Rodgers pick, and he takes him well above ADP. Not the way I would go about it. And Chuba falls to 156. I'd much rather have Chuba Hubbard than Aaron Rodgers. They also have Richardson. They don't need 3 quarterbacks at all. Weird move by that team. Tolbert gets sniped. I think that's good for me because I have too many Cowboys already. I was not really dying to take Tolbert, in all honesty. Gonna be on the clock here. After LeBron, 87. I'm gonna go Tyler Conklin, my highest ranked tight end. What's the deal with Hunter Henry? Did he get hurt? Undisclosed. Ready to go relatively early in the season. Okay, well, that's even more of a reason to draft Tyler Conklin ahead of him. I already have Conklin ranked above Hunter Henry, so let's go with Mr. Conklin. Let's snipe the Aaron Rodgers team, who's probably dying to take him. You will not get him. Not with me in front of you. Well, that is for sure. I could totally reach on quarterback here, but I don't think I'm going to do it. Not the way I want to go about it. Boy, maybe I should. Just for the safety reasons. I have George Pickens. Yeah, just in case. Because y'all know I like Sam Darnold, but he does not stack up with me. And there's a world where I get sniped on both Fields and Sam Darnold. So with such a long wait, I'd rather take Fields in the 16th. But Russell Wilson just looks so bad over the weekend. And Fields doesn't actually have to win games to be good for fantasy. Justin Fields can run for 65, 70 rushing yards per game. So stacked up with Pickens. Obviously, this adds the potential that Ayuk does get traded, and we do get that stack as well. But that's not what I'm counting on. I'm doing it for the stack with Pickens. That's why I'm taking Justin Fields here, because there's so much rushing upside. Like, nobody can run it like he can left in the rankings. And I was worried that I wouldn't get who I wanted at quarterback. There's 2 fail-safes at QB, in my opinion, with Justin Fields and Sam Darnold. And they've both been moving up the board lately. I have a correlating piece with Pittsburgh. Just going to play it safe. I've only have 3 picks left, and I really don't want to be in the situation where Daniel Jones is my quarterback too. That would kind of fuck over this roster. So I'm going to take Justin Fields. And even if I don't get Darnold, I can always pivot to Bo Nix and get some safety net QB production. That's not the worst thing in the world. So we have 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 6 receivers, 2 tight ends. I think I might be done at both tight end and quarterback, but I might grab a 3rd quarterback. I'm probably done at running back. Darnold gets taken. So this was the right call. I at least get one of the 2 I want. Darnold at pick 180. We also don't have Darnold stacked at all to the team with Addison. Yeah, there's the team with Jefferson. There's the team with TJ Hawkinson that can snipe us on Darnold. Yeah, I'm happy that I went with Fields. It was the safer pick for sure. And I think it was the right call. Okay. 3 more picks. We need 2 receivers. I think I need 2 more receivers. I'll queue up some guys. I think Boyd has some appeal given the Hopkins injury. There's a world where Whittington actually is the guy you want, not Demarcus Robinson. He's been getting a lot of looks in the preseason, although for the Rams, it's a better sign that Demarcus Robinson isn't even playing in the preseason. I'm not going to go Roman Wilson, that's for sure. Juwan Jennings battling an oblique injury. That's interesting. Geno Smith falling in this draft. ADP 168. Currently pick 190. Still not taken. Hayden Hurst goes. I'm going to ignore Quentin Johnston and take DJ Chark. The team after me has Justin Herbert, and Chark has that spike week potential. Should be targeted deep down the field, and Herbert's got a cannon. Let's go DJ Chark. Jonathan saying Geno's a bum. The team behind me goes with 4 quarterbacks with Anthony Richardson, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, and Daniel Jones. Okay. Whatever. Whatevs, bro. Whatevs. There is risk with Justin Fields, so I am going to take Bo Nix. I do have Geno ranked higher, but you know what, Jonathan? I'm gonna side with you here and say that Geno's a bum. Bo Nix has looked really good. And it also opens us up for a very unique combo with a round 18 receiver who normally goes undrafted. We are locked into receiver with the final pick. So this is the team, Dak Prescott, with a massive Cowboys onslaught of CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, as well as Rico Dowdle. If the Cowboys suck, this team is dead in the water. If they are elite on offense, if they're top 3 again, this team is rolling, and we are shooting for upside in BestBall Mania every single time. So that's what we do. We're also shooting for upside with Justin Fields stacked up with George Pickens, and let's hope for the best there. But Fields also has elite rushing potential. He has standalone value and could be top 10 on a per-game basis if he does get the start. That's what he was last year in Chicago. He was a top 7 quarterback because of his rushing value. He actually ran for more yards per game, or like identically the same as Lamar Jackson last year. Lamar led the league in terms of rushing yards among quarterbacks. And then Bo Nix, this is hard to believe, but Russell Wilson was almost equally as good as Patrick Mahomes in fantasy last year. Mahomes averaged 18.6 points per game, and Russell Wilson was right behind him. Mahomes was the quarterback. Actually, Mahomes averaged 17.6. I'm mistaken. Yeah, 17.6 points per game last year. He was QB 12 on a per game basis. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson was QB 13 on a points per game basis. And Nix, I think, is better than Russell Wilson. Nix is also underrated as a runner. So if we're just collectively wrong on this Broncos offense and they actually put up good numbers, then I think Bo Nix is a super safe pick here in round 17. I could definitely opt for the Geno Smith drop in value, but I don't have anyone to stack up with him, and I'm willing to go with a less drafted player for more of a unique combination with Bo Nix. I can also still grab one of those random Broncos receivers here in the 18th round. We could go Troy Franklin. We could go Uh, let's just type in Broncos. I could take Dulcich. I could also take Tim Patrick, someone that no one is taking, who did score a touchdown in the preseason. Could go Josh Reynolds as well. And I think those are our only options. I'm going to pass on Boyd. Going to go with someone that nobody's taking. Franklin, no news on Franklin. Tim Patrick, however, is far less rostered in Best Ball Mania. And then Josh Reynolds, if he's not playing with Goff, has usually been ass. So, I'm done at running back, done at tight end, done at QB, going with wide receiver. It's between Franklin, Tim Patrick, and Josh Reynolds. I'm leaning Tim Patrick. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I know there's not like a ton of inspiration when you consider these guys, but it lines up with my Knicks selection, and I need a receiver. So it's unique, that's for sure. And I think for the sake of being unique, being contrarian, that's why I'm going to go with Tim Patrick over Troy Franklin. Coming off two kind of devastating injuries. Let's be honest about it. And yeah, I understand, Jonathan, that college connection with Franklin and Knicks is definitely there, but he fell to the 4th round for a reason. And I actually saw Tim Patrick play with Knicks in the preseason. I feel like maybe I just wasn't noticing it, but Franklin didn't really see enough snaps. And last year, Marvin Mims didn't like do shit. I'm a little worried about rookies in this offense. Jordan Mason is a tempting pick here, honestly. Very tempting, but I need a receiver more. I hear you, Jonathan. I'm battling between the two. I might really regret passing, but I'm going to go Tim Patrick just because most people don't. I'm going to opt for the less rostered guy. In a massive field, Troy Franklin is still like mostly rostered, whereas Tim Patrick is not. So that was my tiebreaker. That was the tiebreak. Maybe I should have gone Franklin there. I know he was like really fucking good in college, but let's just remind you the full team real quick. My 9th entry into Best Ball Mania is a Dak Prescott Dallas Cowboys Onslaught. Prescott, Justin Fields, Bo Nix. Running backs, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Rico Dowdle, J.K. Dobbins, Jalen Wright. Really good production for my top 2, and then big swings for upside with these last 3. I feel good about this running back room with only 5. Wide receiver, though, love it. Absolutely love this receiver room. The wide receiver 1 in CeeDee Lamb, I think the steal of the draft potentially in the 3rd round at Brandon Ayuk. George Pickens at a big value, pick 50. Brian Thomas, I think 2 rounds undervalued. I think he's a better pick than Christian Kirk, straight up. Romeo Doubs, high upside with a good connection with Jordan Love. Such a good connection that Jordan Love is actually contemplating changing his name to Juliet. Can you believe that? Brandon Cooks to complete this onslaught. DJ Chark for the upside. We also sniped Team 1. And then Tim Patrick for the unique build approach. We need Ferguson to be a league winner and Conklin to score some touchdowns. That's the team. That's the squad. And that's it for this draft. If you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for me. And yeah, I'll be live tomorrow once again. I'm going to be playing golf in about an hour and 15 minutes. Can't fucking wait. And yeah, there will be a rankings update for the running back position posted, I think, in the morning. I'll be editing that in the meantime in the next hour and then after I get back from golf. And yeah, we're less than 3 weeks away from the season. Can't fucking wait, everyone. It's going to be fun. And I appreciate y'all joining me. on this live stream. Take care, enjoy your week, and I wish you good luck with your fantasy team this year. Thank you. Bye-bye.